r/ProRevenge. I'm not the vice principal anymore, okay? So this happened at the end of this school year. Now the story is in 4 parts. Basically, I was told that all the assistant/vice principals in the district were being let go and a teacher on assignment, TOA, was going to take our jobs. I was not heartbroken over this, but was treated badly by the new admin team taking my job and my principal's job. Also, I tried to help my staff on my way out, and it seems my bosses cared more about their images than my staff's happiness, so here's the story. Part 1. So none of the other admins in my district had received our contracts for the coming school year yet. I was wondering what was going on, but I heard rumors about a pay scale shift, and that was the reason for it. I found out Wednesday what is actually happening. Every assistant principal, AP, and vice principal, VP in the district, why we have 2 different titles, I have no idea, is not getting renewed contracts, except the ones at the high school. Their positions are being eliminated and their jobs are being replaced with a new position that pays a teacher's salary plus a $2,000 stipend. They're replacing the APs with quote-unquote learning coordinators. Apparently, the budget is the given reason, but I also heard rumors from someone at the district office. Each of us APs and VPs was scheduled to meet with one of the assistant superintendent next Wednesday. We thought it was about our contracts, and we were right. When I arrived, the acting superintendent was there with the head of HR. I was told about the elimination of my position, but not the reasons why. I was then given an option for the coming school year. I could go back into the classroom, I could work in the district office, or I could apply and interview for the new positions that are replacing my job. The hell? I couldn't care one lick if I was told that my position had been cut completely and I needed to go back into the classroom. I love the classroom. I miss teaching full time. However, to tell me to apply and interview for a job I already have is pretty crap. We were told to give the district our answers by Friday and they would draw up our contracts or schedule interviews. Wednesday afternoon, I went to see Tony, who's an assistant superintendent and one of the few decent leaders in the school district. I heard from Tony that there was an internal shakeup, but he wasn't allowed to talk about it or even give me a hint about what happened. However, one of the assistant superintendents were being reassigned, aka demoted, to being the principal of my current school. My principal was not coming back due to health reasons, and the superintendent was released from his contract, and my school's new learning coordinator position had already been filled. Well, who filled it? A school counselor from one of the high schools who just happens to be a friend and lackey of the assistant superintendent that is now the new principal. So early this morning, I gave them my answer. I decided that I didn't need until Friday to decide. I tried to make sure I sounded professional, but I made sure that my message was getting across by speaking with authority. I went into the acting superintendent's office and told him that I thought that laying off a bunch of people so they could hire others to do the same job but at less pay was pretty screwed up. I told him that the way the school district handled certain situations was idiotic. I then gave several examples. I next told him that he was going to ruin a perfectly good school with an amazing team of educators by putting a lazy, mean, parent-pleasing person in as its new principal and letting her put a lackey in as her second in command. I said that was as useless as a screen door in a submarine and as mean as Dolores Umbridge. I finished the 3-minute speech by stating that I will work my ass off and finish the school year strong. I'll prep things for the next school year so that the teachers have an easier time. I also let him know that I would never work at or recommend the district to anyone ever again. Then I left, letting him know that I expect an amazing letter of recommendation by the end of the school day Friday afternoon since I earned it for my service the past few years.
Hey there. If you haven't heard already, a few friends and I recently launched Rufus Rugs, your go-to destination for premium custom hand-tufted rugs. Looking to add a touch of your favorite anime like Naruto to your space? We've got you covered. Or perhaps you're a die-hard Pokemon guy and want bus toys showcased for everyone to admire. No matter your style, we can bring your vision to life. Click the first link in the description to explore more.
So what am I going to do now? Well, I called up an old friend Wednesday who is currently a principal at a STEM charter school that's part of a chain of charter STEM schools and asked if he had a teaching position available. He's been asking me every year for the past 5 years to come work for him, and he told me he had 3 openings and I could have my pick of them. So next year, I will be a, drumroll please, 6th grade teacher. I'm very happy about it. I even get to design my own curriculum as long as it meets state standards. I could apply elsewhere for admin positions, but I think I need a break from school leadership. I need to love my work again as I used to as a teacher. Yes, there were and are many challenges, and sometimes I hated going to work, but I do love being a teacher. I feel bad for my current staff because the regime change will hit them hard, but there's nothing I can do about it. I wish I could help them. The most I could do would be to take a teaching position at my current school, but then I would be miserable with them and be helpless to do anything to aid them. So, for myself and for my daughter, who I love more than anything, I'm making the move to a new school and going back to what I enjoy doing, teaching. I'm even bringing my daughter to my new school to start next year as a 5th grader. I asked her if she wanted to stay at her current school or go to the STEM school with me, and she wanted to go with me. She was excited since she has visited that school several times and loves the technology room, the robotics class, and the science labs. Plus, she's friends with some of the kids there already. As a goodbye to my staff, I'm going out this weekend and I'm going to buy some nice letter paper and scratcher tickets. I'm going to write short, individualized goodbyes to each of my staff members, and at the end, I'll include the following words. I'm giving you some scratcher tickets. I hope that you're as lucky scratching them as I have been lucky to have worked with you. So that's it. I have to finish my contract, but at the end of June, I am free. I'm looking forward to teaching full-time again and having a boss who will let me just do my job and not interfere. I don't think I want to work in administration again either, but maybe after a few years, I'll decide to work as an AP again. Part 2. So I put together goodbye gifts for all of my staff, and I'll be handing them out on Friday, their last day with kids. They have a bunch of goodies that I posted about weeks ago. I was thinking this weekend about how to give the finger one more time to the district office and help my teachers out, even in a small way. So I came up with it Sunday night. My district requires each teacher to attend additional training throughout the year. These are outside of the regular staff development trainings that are run by district staff, SPED teachers, and admin. The training normally lasts about 1 to 3 hours, and the teacher gets a certificate for the time spent in the training. Each teacher is required to attend 24 hours of these before the end of the school year, and most teachers take them over the summer if they're offered, so they don't have to take them during the school year. So yesterday morning before work, I was making copies of the certificates for all the courses I have run here for the past few years. Classroom management strategies, lockdown procedures, social studies strategies, math strategies, reading comprehension, and environmental print. I'm going to fill them out with each of the teachers' names and the number of hours, and I'm adding all the times I ever spoke to the staff about these topics and putting down hours to correspond, rounding up to the nearest hour-ish. And wouldn't you know, each of those topics was 3 to 5 hours in length. Each staff member will have exactly 24 hours worth of training. I filled out the dates of the training for the 2022-2023 school year. Oh, and I have an attendance sheet with all of their names and have them marked as being present. Note, I checked with the district, and since I'm still an administrator into the summer, I am allowed to run these training over the summer before I leave. Now they can have their summer to themselves and not worry about taking classes during the school year. They can if they wish, but 99% of teachers here hate the mandatory training hours. I hope the staff like the present. Part 3. Since Friday, I am no longer a school administrator. I technically have another week to work, but I took a vacation during that time because, well, screw them. Now I spent the last week packing up, giving aid and comfort to my now former staff, and causing problems for the new administrators who are an app. Now, besides giving the entire staff a year free from additional PDs, I wasn't planning on causing any more problems, just quietly leave and drive off into the sunset, Shane style. But no, apparently I don't deserve a quiet week. The new principal, demoted from assistant superintendent, and her new teacher on assignment, TOA, decided, for some reason, to be rude to me. There was only one response to that, and I aimed to misbehave. How were they rude to me, you might ask? First off, they ordered me to hurry and clean out my office. Apparently, the TOA wanted to start redecorating my office. I was literally told, "Get all your personal stuff out of here ASAP. She wants her office now." I still had a week to work there, and actual work to do. Second, the new principal tried to steal my personal chair and my personal office supplies and decorations. That chair was a gift to me from a friend. I found her just wheeling it out of my office and into hers. My desk supplies and a banner from my wall were stacked on its seat. I told her that it was my personal chair, not the district's. She said, "Okay." The very next morning, I found it missing. She had moved it into her office after I left for the day. Third, I was given a list of tasks to complete by Friday by the TOA, who is in no way, shape, or form my boss. These were not my jobs to do and are in fact the incoming admin's duty to complete, stuff the new admin is supposed to do. Things like putting together new staff packets, scheduling next year's PDs, professional development, filling out and submitting request forms, etc. Finally, I was talked down to every single day by the new admin team. I was spoken to as though I were the hired help and they were the royal creeps. Seriously, I speak to a waitress that messes up my order with 20 times the amount of respect that they showed me. They actually try to get my attention by snapping their fingers at me, like that would work. Note, the new principal also has made some pretty anti-LGBTQ+ comments. I don't like narrow-minded people, so I decided to do as I was told. I was a soldier, so I know how to follow orders. I removed everything that was my personal property. That included my chairs, decorations, stress relievers, punching bag, etc., the fridge from the office, and the file cabinets in my office. Yes, I bought government surplus cabinets because I didn't have any. All my files and all of my former principal's files were in there. I even bought the manila folder I used in it. So I took every piece of paper out of my cabinets, removed them from my labeled folders, and stacked them on the floor into one large pile. There is no order to how they are stacked. I took my chair from the principal's office while she was in a meeting with her parents. I just walked in and rolled it out. She stopped talking to the parents to ask what I was doing, and I responded that I was taking my personal property out ASAP as I was ordered to. I had an old medium-sized fridge that I had placed in the office workroom for office staff to store their food in, but it is mine, so I took the fridge. I brought it right out of the front door and loaded onto my truck. I even took the new admin's food out of it and left them on the table. It is my fridge. I warned the rest of the office staff I was taking it, but forgot to tell an admin. Aw, darn. I copied all of my digital files over to a flash drive and then deleted everything off of my work Google Drive, anything I personally created or designed. Copied all my emails too. I informed the staff that if they need time off next year and needed approved to submit the forms to me this week. I got several and they're all now approved. I got this idea from someone who messaged me here on Reddit and suggested I do this. Thanks for the advice. I approved every supply list item the staff submitted and even drove to the district warehouse to pick up some items personally. I even approved funds for a second-hand kiln for the art teacher. She found a good one on Craigslist. I had repaired my desk with bolts and tools from home. I took the bolts back. The desk is now lopsided again. The closet door was broken when I got there, so I repaired it. I have now put it back as it was when I was hired. The two-way mirror to the detention room was mine. I had gotten it from a friend at another school, a different district. It allowed me to watch ISS and detention students from my office without them seeing me. I popped it right out and took it home. Now the teachers on assignment has a hole in the wall the detention kids can look through. I had put together all the lockdown buckets and fire drill bags myself with my own money. I took all of them back. This I felt bad about, but I will give them out to my new staff at my new school. I put a rush order on all classroom and building repairs and have an approved order to have every classroom repainted. I assembled new staff packets and the new school year binders. Besides the basics of what is required, I have included throughout the binders in random places, Dilbert cartoons, famous Harry Potter quotes, the lyrics to Nickelback's How You Remind Me, I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry, All Star by Smash Mouth, and We Built This City by Starship. A map of the area where I marked all the good places to eat lunch off campus, funny Far Side teacher comics, cheesy teacher jokes, the union contact info, crosswords, Sudoku, and word searches, a list of educational lawyers, just in case. I also included in the binder the admin Wi-Fi password for them since that signal is stronger for some reason. I went ahead and wrote out the PD schedule for next year. Oddly, every Wednesday is listed as free time or work in your classroom. I'm sure they'll change it, but I don't know when they will find out what it says. I had a master list of donors and partners in the community. It was posted on a whiteboard in my office. I got over 4 dozen businesses and people in the community to help with various things or donate over the years. I spent a lot of my time building relationships with them and making deals. I took a photo of it and then I erased the list and took the whiteboard since, it was mine. Friday, I flew with the LGBTQ flag instead of the state flag. I also placed LGBTQ flags in each classroom in case the staff wanted to display them. Then I got yelled at 3 times. The first time was when I took back my chair. I was told it was unprofessional to just take it without asking, especially with guests present. I responded with, yes, it was unprofessional to take my chair without asking. The second time was when the TOA found the refrigerator gone. She said that it was community property. I told her, no, it's my property, and I was told to take all my property from the campus. The third time was when I was in the parking lot leaving and they found piles of papers. The principal flagged me down and told me to clean it up. I told her I was off the clock and that the district never reimbursed me for the cabinets, so I had to take them with me. I am expecting a call from HR today asking for my assistance setting everything back up since with all my stuff removed and erased, the admin team has to actually put in some hard work. I'd come in for my consultant rate of $75 an hour with a minimum contract of 12 hours. Part 4. So, as some of you know, I left the world of being an administrator a few weeks ago. I tried to leave behind some nice, gifts when I left. I wasn't looking to cause problems my last few weeks, but the new admin team unacceptably treated me. So I decided that Malcolm Reynolds had it right when he said, I aim to misbehave. Well, the Tuesday after I left, I received a call from HR. I ignored it. I then left for a road trip with my daughter where we went to San Francisco for a few days and went to 2 Giants games. Unfortunately, they lost both games. While we were on our trip, they called and emailed me at my personal email account. My work one was deleted by them. I ignored the calls and never opened the emails. My daughter and I then went to Disneyland for a few days of fun and then returned this past Friday. I then checked the voicemails and emails. I was asked, begged, and then ordered to come to HR for important meetings. It is very important that we speak to you as soon as possible, is what they said repeatedly. So yesterday, I went into the district office wearing cargo shorts, a shirt I got at Disneyland, and flip-flops. I don't work there, so I don't need to dress up. When I arrived, I was originally treated like a visiting VIP. The HR manager and her assistant tried to butter me up like a Pillsbury biscuit. After a few minutes of them trying to make small talk and me letting them know I had plans to go to lunch in 30 minutes, they got to the point. They wanted me to turn over a few things that I took. Though they belonged to me, they said they were sorely needed at the school. They gave me a list from the new principal, which included, but was limited to, my chair. Seriously? My refrigerator and appliances, my community contacts board, people/businesses that I built relationships and partnerships with, my personally designed forms and worksheets, two-way mirror, my lockdown buckets, and fire drill bags. They also wanted copies of every record I kept and notes I took on the staff and students. The notes I took on the staff were so I could personalize gifts for them and have conversations with them about their interests. I said no to all of these requests. I told the ladies that the furniture and appliances were mine that I brought in. I stated that the chair was a gift to me from a friend and that the new principal can afford to buy her own chair. I also stated that I left any official school/district documents there and any I took with me and or deleted were of my own making and my intellectual property. I also stated that my contacts were developed over the years on my personal time and at a personal cost to me. I also stated that everything I took that I submitted a reimbursement was never reimbursed. I kept my records and pay stubs. I never saw a red cent from those submissions. They offered to pay me for some of the items and gave me a rough figure of what the district would pay me to return the fridge, the forms, buckets, bags, the mirror, and the contact board. I told them that I did not want to hand them over to the new admin team since they had treated me so poorly. They asked me again and tried to reason that some of those things could be interpreted as school property. I told them that they were welcome to try and force me to return anything that was legally mine to them, but I would be willing to fight it in court. I also told them that those 2 administrators made me uncomfortable and that their treatment of me could be considered making a hostile work environment, especially when they tried to make me do their jobs for them. I then gave the HR team my lawyer's info. Note, I dated a lawyer after my divorce for a few years and we are still good friends and she has offered herself as my forever retained lawyer so that I can use her name and she'd help me out if she could. I rarely use her name, but when I have needed her legal advice, she always comes through. I also help her with physical chores when she or her family needs them. I then wished the lady a good school year in the term to come and left. I doubt I'll ever hear from them again.